raise my hand, I guarantee you I would get like immediate disdain.
We were at
Yeah.
we were
I
at
have that.
80%.
That is fair. There is a prejudice that follows that.
Yeah.
We were at 80% around just a couple decades ago of people believing in Christianity. That number is dwindling and dwindling and dwindling. But the reality is, whatever you believe, right? What does it say on the dollar?
In God we trust.
In God we trust.
Which is the mixture of church and state.
What is is it the mixture? Because
I
it's not
believe
necessarily like, God is
Who handles
really
all the money? The government.
right. It's not necessarily saying that
Who
we
controls
are
the government.
But honestly,
The
given
money.
the two situations, given two religions that we were just previously talking about, I would much rather have Christianity be in control of our government.
Yes, but we're not comparing the two religions. We're comparing whether or not they should be involved.
Right.
in
I'm saying the
church and state.
dynamic, like the
Yeah.
range of like, well, we could have it a lot worse.
I would rather have logic and reason, and I would not want a politician using religion to base his reasons.
Sure. I mean, I think that a guy saying that evolution is not real, I wouldn't want him in public office
Agree. And
because there are just basic fundamental truths of the world. But I think
that people can be religious all they want,
Yeah.
but I think they have to make unbiased decisions.
Mhm.
Right.
And I think that should be the end all be all. Make an unbiased decision
Right.
and have that be it.
Question 6.
Mm.
Local governments address issues that the national government would never touch without them.
Yeah,
need
you
an
have
example.
to elaborate.
So
this one,
local
mate.
governments addressing issues that the national government would never touch without them. So I am gonna just open this up by say strongly disagree. And maybe just disagree because you look at things like Roe versus Wade. This was something that the government touched, which was an issue that they addressed on the federal scale. And local governments are now just able to handle it at the local level. So the idea that local governments exclusively address issues that the national government would never touch without them is kind of
Yeah.
is kind of bullshit to me.
Yeah.
It's
I
like
mean,
it feels untrue.
it feels untrue.
I just
It
need
does feel
elaboration on
untrue.
this one for sure. Are you insinuating that this
Does Washington State deal with issues that the national government would never handle without them?
No.
You can also vote neutral or unsure.
I mean, hey man, I would like elaboration. I think this is the way I'm seeing it, right? Especially with the Roe v. Wade stuff, is that if there's an issue that the federal government does not want to handle, right, and then the state government, they just have their own little idea of how they want to handle it. That's how they do it without the federal government's involvement.
Well, I mean, let's take a look at marijuana legalization.
Mm-hmm.
The federal government hasn't touched that. Aside from, I think, was it Biden or Trump that pardoned marijuana-related crimes?
Trump had done the first prison reform for nonviolent drug offenses.
Okay, so that was like the touch, I guess.
Right.
But
Which is why I'm so like
Primarily-
disagree. Is like local
Yeah.
governments can do fuck all. Like,
exactly. But primarily, this has been left in the state's hands
Yeah.
as to how they wanted to address that situation
which I
with
think
marijuana.
is kind of dumb.
I'm very neutral.
I
Just
feel
make a
like-
decision and move on. Is my opinion.
I think neutral is kind of good for me too. Like I don't
Okay.
mind the state
I'm pretty
making
neutral.
decisions,
Neutral.
Yeah.
but I would
I'd
like
say
federal
disagree.
government.
Disagree.
Yeah.
Disagree. So
I'm,
that's
I'm aboard with you. Yeah.
everyone's on. So that's basically -2. So that's strongly disagree. Maintaining family values is essential. Strongly agree.
Strongly
Define
agree.
family values.
Yeah, I think you're correct on that. I
My
think
family
nuclear-
is dysfunctional as fuck, so we're gonna
So
need
we're
a
gonna
little
say
bit of a
the
traditional
relationship.
family
nuclear
values
nuclear family. Mother, father has children. They help raise them, and these are family values.
agree. Well, strongly agree.
Agree.
Strongly
Agree.
Just strongly agree.
Everyone's basically strongly agree on that one. Traditions are of no value on their own. What a weird way of saying
Yeah,
it
you
requires
wanna-
people to do traditions. I say strongly disagree.
Me too.
Strongly
Strongly
disagree.
disagree.
Strongly disagree. Disagree.
I need elaboration on it. So like, what do you mean on its own? Like,
Traditions themselves
Like
if
Christmas.
you do the same thing over and over, but it holds no meaning
are
aside
of
from
no
habit.
value on their own.
oh,
It only holds value in presence of other people that value that tradition.
Yeah.
then yeah, strongly disagree.
All right. States cannot function without a strong national government. I'm saying disagree on that.
like strong government, like Imperial Japan strong, or like
Yeah, it's the idea that the states get most of their ability and power from the federal
Federal.
national government.
I'm neutral.
Neutral. I say disagree.
I would say agree.
I say disagree because look at Texas and Florida.
Those are the exact ones that I'm trying
Yeah.
to mull it over.
You
in
can
my
have
brain.
Biden being the most dumbest person. He's as effective as a
Yep.
sack of potatoes, and Florida and Texas are doing
Fuck all.
pretty
or
fine
whatever
by-
they
See,
want.
I see
by
the
their
opposite
relation.
because
I'd say agree.
I
Or
say
Okay.
disagree, sorry.
I say agree
disagree.
because a strong national government just looks good. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
How
Yeah,
can-
but we're
like-
not talking about
like,
Yeah, we're
looks
not
versus
talking about-
functionality.
Do you
Yeah, we're
think,
talking about
like,
functionality.
We're
not
talking about
talking
functionality of the
we're not
state.
talking about like an outside point of view from a different country. We're talking about internally.
So you're insinuating that states can function without a strong national.
It's
For
the
sure.
idea.
Yes.
Since Biden is president, he's been so shit. Every state must be suffering.
For sure.
I still think a strong national government would help the country function. There's still cons in every other state that a state can't control because the federal government controls.
Yes, but it's saying exclusively that a state
Okay.
cannot.
States cannot
Yeah.
function without a strong national government.
It's
Strong-
saying
I'm gonna
with,
say
with no
strongly disagree.
exceptions.
Strongly
I'll
disagree.
say
Okay.
agree.
Okay,
There's
and
no
then
change there.
Disagree.
that puts us at effectively disagree. Okay, immigrants should be expected to learn the language of the country.
Agree.
Strongly agree.
Strongly agree.
Strongly agree.
Strongly
Yeah.
agree. Okay. I believe in a higher power.
I'm sorry,
Agree.
what?
Agree.
That doesn't necessarily mean God, right?
Yeah.
Right.
It means
Okay.
anything.
Agree.
Agree.
Higher power is pretty broad.
It is.
Strongly disagree.
I would say agree.
And I say strongly agree.
Because we truly have no idea.
There should not be international law.
Like NATO?
International law, like
Like a
what
law
dictates
that
war
supersedes everything.
crimes, the prevention. It's internationally illegal to put weapons of mass destruction in space, like things that countries
should be.
mutually agree
Okay,
on.
yeah, strongly disagree.
Right.
What was the question? You say it one more
There
time.
should not be international law.
Strongly disagree.
Strongly
So,
disagree.
disagree.
I'm almost
Everyone
certain
disagree?
Walker put strongly agree for this. I strongly disagree.
We have no right to militarily intervene in other nations.
Strongly agree.
Strongly agree.
I disagree.
So you say strongly disagree.
Mm-hmm.
You say strongly agree.
Correct.
That's
This
back
is
to
saying
zero.
that we do
Did you
not
say agree
have
or
the right?
disagree?
Agree.
Oh, strongly agree.
I thought you said it. Agree.
We
I'm sorry,
have
can you repeat the
no
question?
right to military intervene in other countries. If you agree, it means we should not. If you disagree, it means we should.
I disagree.
Oh, I heard this.
Disagree?
Look what happened with Auschwitz. America came over with Normandy to France. They went and saved the France.
We
They
were
liberalized
asked to.
France.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's other countries is the point, is that it's not like
We were
our
provoked.
homeland. Yeah.
So what do you say?
I said strongly agree.
So you don't think we should have the right to military intervene?
I have family that
I just
went
need yes or
out
no,
there.
right?
Okay. Yeah. Just
Okay.
agree.
I think
strongly agree.
that so this is kind of a weird, because I think that if we are uninvitedly going in and doing something because someone that we like is suffering, then we don't have right to just step in without being asked to. But if we are asked, I think we do have the right because it's with permission.
So you're going to go with
Um,
agree? Since you're in that kind of iffy?
Yes.
You could even say neutral. There's nothing wrong with that.
Or neutral?
yeah.
I'm going to say agree, but with stipulation.
I'm
Okay.
a
We
I'm a
have
big
no
person
right.
on a
We have no right. So
I'm a
you're
big
doing
person
strongly
on-
disagree?
if there's like
Or
conflict
strongly agree?
that's
Strongly
been going on
agree.
for like thousands of years, like
And
it's
then
just
you
better to
said
let the house
Disagree.
fucking burn.
Disagree?
Exactly. Yeah.
Better than letting my people from my house just die
Yeah.
trying
Okay.
to fix your house.
So that
Like,
puts
it's
us
not
at an
worth it.
average of agree.
Yes.
A hierarchical state is best.
Strongly disagree.
Yeah.
Strongly disagree.
I strongly
Strongly
disagree.
disagree.
The army's hierarchical. That needs to be fixed.
What do you think?
I can't. You need to repeat the
A
question.
hierarchical state is best.
Yes.
Oh, word.
Mhm.
You want
still-
kings and queens?
You
want a
agree?
Still
president?
puts us at strong disagree. The government should not break up monopolies.
Should
Disagree.
not.
Strongly disagree.
Strongly
Strongly
disagree.
disagree. I
Strongly
feel like that's
disagree.
I feel like everyone agrees on that
I
one.
feel
I feel
like
like
there
the
are
people who do
laws.
strongly agree with that are just
A part of monopolies.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got some stake in the
Aren't there
game.
laws that are in place that are supposed to prevent monopolies from being
Yes.
formed?
Yeah. And
And-
yet they get formed. It's crazy,
Yes.
right?
Like Pepsi
Well,
and
they-
BlackRock are basically a monopoly
don't-
for
Yeah.
all these other little companies.
Vanguard and BlackRock.
Vanguard and BlackRock.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Uh-oh.
mean, you look at what like Coca-Cola itself owns
Cereal.
a fuck ton of things
Yeah.
in the beverage
Snacks.
market,
Mhm.
Yep.
but it's not a monopoly because there's two other players in the game. So that's effectively what it is. So yeah, should not break up monopolies. That was a strongly disagree. There is no higher power is this question.
Isn't that the same as the other question?
That's kind of the same, which we effectively put at disagree was, in this case, it would be disagree.
because we
Was the
agree.
sort of consensus. Government should be as concerned about foreign citizens as they are about those within their borders.
Strongly disagree.
Strongly disagree.
I
Yeah,
would
Strongly
disagree.
disagree. We should
And
not
what
give
was-
a single flying
What was
fuck.
the question again?
Government should be as concerned about foreign citizens as they are about those within their borders. So we should be giving a fuck about what life is like over in insert other country
Like
here.
Biden giving money to Ukraine.
Or Biden giving money to Saudi
Yeah,
Arabia
yeah,
for
I
gender
know.
studies.
I would say disagree.
That's everybody. The very existence of the state is a threat to our liberty.
Of what state?
This is Nathan going like, yeah,
Does-
fuck the nation,
the
fuck the
state,
man.
does that mean like?
The state. So
Yeah.
Like
the
government?
government. Yeah.
The state
Can you
government.
repeat the question one more time?
The very existence of the state is a threat to our liberty.
You're talking about like the government itself, like the
Yeah.
federal government.
Yes.
All government.
It's meant to protect
All
you.
government.
Yeah, but here's the thing: it doesn't really protect you in a lot of cases. It's supposed to, but it doesn't.
I would say agree. Just
'Cause of the
agree.
corrupt
I'll have to
people in
strongly
there,
agree on
yeah.
that.
Correct.
I say strongly disagree.
Can you read
So
it
hang
one
on.
more time? I'm sorry.
So the very existence of the state is a threat to our liberty.
If you say yes, that's agree. If you say
If
no,
you say yes, you are basically saying that the state is always threatening your liberties.
Always.
Well, I feel like
I
the state
agree.
is
It literally is
consistently
always.
impending on our free will.
So you
So
say agree,
yes.
that's one.
Agree.
That's two.
I agree.
That's three.
I'm neutral.
I'm same, so I'm neutral as well, but that still puts us at strongly agree. Strong states weaken a nation.
Disagree.
that is a
Disagree.
backwards ass
That's
question.
Yeah.
That's
So stupid.
incredibly
Strongly disagree.
Yeah,
Yeah.
strongly disagree.
Guess what makes up the nation? States.
Oh,
You could put the whole
Fucking God.
SEC in the Middle East, and we would ransack the hell.
A nation usually needs a military in order to survive.
Yes.
Strongly
Strongly
agree.
agree.
unfortunately.
Unfortunately, it's the sad truth. It is strongly agree.
Yeah.
Our culture would be better with other cultures mixed in more.
strongly disagree.
Yeah, strongly disagree.
Well,
Strongly
I know
disagree.
that is kind of ridiculous because
As America.
as America, we are a melting pot of cultures.
right.
But, and I guess this goes back to a question that we were asked previously in the questionnaire, but we are a melting pot of cultures.
Yeah.
But for the most part, the cultures that have been here for generations.
Um,
And they've cultivated a culture here in America that is super unique. But new cultures coming in, strongly disagree.
I would say the issue is arriving, and why I'm so strongly against it is the fact that these cultures aren't necessarily assimilating to.
correct. They're
American
trying to
way
impose
of
their
life.
culture.
For example, Muslims going into any country they go to and wanting to instill Sharia law.
Yeah.
It
Fuck
happens
that.
everywhere that they go.
It's currently happening
And
in
UK.
all of Europe.
They are reaping what they have sown. They're
so
like,
the
no,
general
yes,
consensus here is
taking all the
strongly
refugees.
disagree.
Yeah, taking all the refugees, please.
I'm putting agree.
Okay, we're still outnumbered.
Yeah.
The United Nations.
As long as you know.
The United Nations should have a military to enforce its resolutions. Fucking no.
Strongly
No.
disagree.
Absolutely fucking not.
You said the UN having its own military?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely.
It
That would
kind-
mean it's
disagree.
UN would be
kind
its own
quote unquote
entity.
does because you have the UN peacekeepers. They're
That's right.
a bunch of fucking.
That's why I
morons.
was gonna put agree because they have the peacekeepers.
and they're
Peacekeepers
fucking
with
useless.
And not always. The Jadetville conflict was solid, but
I think that they should be able to give their 2 cents, but then
That's it. They are
That's
just
it.
a
Fuck off.
council of
Yeah.
the nations.
I would say neutral for me. Just
Okay.
neutral.
Still strongly disagree. Traditional medicines are often more effective than modern medicines.
What was it? Sorry.
Traditional medicines are often more effective than modern medicines.
like herbs
Disagree.
and stuff.
I agree.
like vaccinations matter more than
yeah, so
tea tree
in this
oil,
case, this is
so-
also talking about vaccinations.
I would say
Um,
disagree.
I'm sorry. Repeat the question so I know.
Traditional medicines are often more effective than modern medicines.
Well, here's
Strongly
the thing.
agree.
There's a lot of traditional medicines that aren't brought up anymore.
Yeah.
So, like, for example, over the last 100 years, there is clear documentation of lion's mane working in curing cancer. And the larger, we'll say big pharma, says, that shit doesn't work. That doesn't work. But
Yeah.
it factually does.
Yeah.
Like, it works.
Because they're losing money.
Yeah.
They're losing money.
They don't want you to
Traditional
have the
medicine. And I
nice-
think that maybe is what it's talking about, like traditional medicine in the way that of like natural holistic medicines.
Right.
For sure that works.
Yeah.
Not in all cases, because it can't.
Yeah. I mean,
I
you also have
think-
to think of too is like the application of said things because, you know, a lot of medications are derived from plants.
Right.
And a lot of that knowledge of traditional medicine was lost in the upbringing of big pharma because they didn't want us to retain that information. And
Yeah.
while traditional medicines do work, vaccinate your kids,
Mm.
eat your meat. You know, just,
Yeah.
you know, there's
So we have-
I'm very icky about like taking too much medication. Like
Me
that's
too.
why I'm against
Yeah.
like birth, like for myself, not taking
Right.
birth control because of the artificial hormones and stuff like that, and not if I'm in pain, you know, taking the highest dose of ibuprofen or even doing
Yeah.
oxycodone because it affects like your
Your
hormone balance
chemicals.
It's
yes,
literally you're
inside yourself.
ingesting
so that's why
chemicals.
I love
I'm more
putting
leaning
500
toward.
millis of Ibu
I
in
still
me.
agree with getting your children
Ibu.
vaccinated for things against chicken pox and things like that, but I'm still more leaning towards the herbal
Right.
thing.
I
And
mean,
I think-
like
for
I
that.
won't get the flu vaccine every year because I think that
The flu
If I-
vaccine's been invented for 100 fucking years.
yeah,
Yeah.
if I
And
get
guess
the
what,
flu,
homies?
like
We
I'll
get
be
the
fine.
flu.
Yeah.
If I get
think
the flu, I'll be fine, and it'll build my immune system stronger for
I think
it.
Well, I
it's-
mean,
mostly the issue of like, oh, people seem to reach for the melatonin instead of drinking like chamomile tea or something.
Yeah.
You know,
or just fucking close your eyes and not be on your phone.
I don't know, bro.
Like, you know what I mean?
I
Like,
have like the issues that I've talked to you about. So I take hydroxyzine to go to sleep.
Mm.
That's what I've been taking that for months now. So I mean, like I'm always gonna do that. Like modern medicine
will you agree or
is just
sorry.
amazing. So
I
I,
think-
Will you
can't.
agree?
agree.
Agree?
I put disagree.
Agree?
The herbal medicine is
Traditional medicine?
Yeah.
Okay.
That traditional medicine is better than modern.
Yes.
Yeah, disagree.
And then I was
I'll put agree.
agree. Okay, so that puts us at strongly agree. Sex outside marriage is immoral.
Strongly disagree.
Strongly disagree.
Strongly
I
disagree.
say strongly agree.
Hell yeah!
Can I ask you why it's immoral? Because I'll tell you something. I've been fucking for 17 years.
You can fuck me too. We
I
can do it
will.
right here. I mean, we're not even married, so we'll just do it right here on this fucking table.
There is another question that usually comes up in this: is sex outside of marriage is usually immoral, and that's one where I say it's strongly agree.
I think that if you're fucking anything that walks, then that's a problem.
And
However,
that's what I'm saying
Sorry.
is that it should be it should be between somebody you love, ideally, and if that is something that you
Ideally.
are doing, then great. I guess I'm taking the marriage thing as being like a strong relationship in this.
Sure.
so.
you
If you're
know, is-
domestic partners, that could also
is-
be quote unquote
Right.
marriage.
I see what
is
he
the
means.
Okay.
idea of
I
it
see
being
what
a
you're saying.
strong marriage and you're doing something that you plan on marrying, right?
So this is essentially boiling down to
A connection.
having
Yeah.
sex because your Tinder hookup date went well. Like
Is
that's
wrong,
that's
usually.
wrong.
Is
Yeah,
usually
see,
wrong.
I-
yeah,
I
can
might
agree
think
with
that
that.
it's. I don't think that it's wrong. I think that it's fucking gross. I don't think that. I don't think that it's wrong in any capacity. I think that maybe that person is a slut.
Ah,
It's wild. I still haven't
We're
gotten
dropping the
STDs.
slut word.
I haven't gotten a single STD in my entire
Good
life.
for you,
You
dude.
know what?
Your
Congratulations.
fucking
You haven't
average
had
is-
You know,
I mean,
wrap-
your
wrap it
average
before you
is-
tap it,
Strongly
you know what I
disagree,
mean?
No,
strongly
I always do it
disagree.
raw. That's the crazy
You are
part.
strongly disagree.
this
Yeah.
might be this might be a shocker, but I'm neutral with that.
How do you feel? You want a divorce?
And so I say strongly.
I'm gonna go with
Agree.
I'm
So
gonna go
that's-
with neutral
I
on
mean,
that
it-
too. I think.
It's also okay. So then at any rate, it's still strongly disagree.
Me and
Okay.
Jeremy Carey. We
The more people, the more people ask, the better chance there is of reaching the best decision.
Well, that depends on
You
who
need to
we're
be-
asking.
Yeah.
yeah, if it's a fucking moron,
know,
we're gonna
if
be here
you
all
are-
day.
If we're asking the general population, I think we're gonna get some pretty fucked answers and fucked results.
And there's
Haze.
also
Literally.
there's also the major issue of picking and choosing who you're asking.
Yeah.
Like
True.
when all these media sites come out with their fucking polls,
Oh yeah.
and all the pollets are in Los Angeles, and
Yeah.
they're like, look, Harris is winning.
See,
And you're like, no shit. No
It's
shit.
LA.
here's the
Yeah.
thing: is like I'm gonna kind of dog on myself here for a second. I don't have a college degree, and I also am convinced that I am not right in a lot of things. Like I know that I don't hold the same vote as the general population when it comes to a lot of things. I think that there should be some sort of proven intellect in an individual before you're asked
A vetting process.
a vetting process before
Like
you're
an
put
IQ
into one of
test
those
for
Take
polls.
this IQ test, and then you get the right to
Yeah.
vote.
Because college does not equate to intelligence. I
Right.
Exactly.
promise you, there's a ton of
Dumb as
dumbass
shit college
people.
graduates.
Yeah, they're mostly in Congress.
Every university with Palestine protests right
and
now.
I'll dog on
Yeah.
myself right now also. I didn't even fucking graduate high school. Not because I couldn't. I left on my own volition. I
Right.
couldn't do it. Socially, couldn't do it.
Mm.
I am by no means hyper intelligent, but I'm not dumb as fuck
Correct.
either.
Yeah.
So
And I'll put a dog on myself.
fuck
No,
yeah,
like-
dude.
like-
This is a safe
Like
space.
literally, I want a dog.
Get this man a chihuahua.
I say everyone's basically strongly disagree.
Yeah.
You know what kind of dogs you want?
Uh,
Are you actually looking for a dog? Because I know someone who's
he's
got a
messing
dog
with
that
the
needs
wrong
homes.
bitches.
That was
That was good.
so good.
So we are a little
It depends on the
over
dog.
halfway there. So the government should have access to the emails of suspected terrorists.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I love that all of us
Suspected.
went like, yeah, and then or no, and then we were like, oh, hold on.
Hold on, terrorist. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
What-
hold on,
what
hold on,
was
hold on.
it?
Repeat the question. I've got clarifying questions.
The government should have access to the emails of suspected terrorists.
Yes.
Under what?
Yeah.
What
Like what vetting process is going through to determine whether or not they
internet
are
searches by ISPs?
Yeah.
Like
You have to
gang
realize
members,
that, like,
criminal
How to make
history.
TNT. That puts you on some
Yeah,
sort
it
of
should
list.
put you on a fucking list.
yeah, but you remember whenever Twitter was really bad and then they made that Republican app, whatever the hell.
Truth
So, like,
Social?
yeah,
Truth
so where
Social.
people
Well-
could like speak their mind and they labeled that as domestic terrorism and the app had to go down.
Well, maybe that's because the people on there are extreme rights and they're like fucking.
Well,
and
it's
they're all-
also
Well,
just
like,
been speaking their
here's my
mind
thing.
rather than actually implementing
Well, you also
the
have to
plan.
realize
Yeah, you have a
that
point.
the major incentive of the people who probably called that was the establishment media who was losing control.
Correct.
So they were like, "Oh, look at all these
But
domestic
do you
terrorists."
see what I'm talking about? You can't
So-
just assume someone's a terrorist,
Right,
simply
and all
because
this
of your
is
own
saying is-
volition or
That's
own
the
narrative.
thing,
All
though,
this
like,
is
is
saying
there
is that
some
the
sort-
CIA would get a pop up and be like, "Hey, look at this shit." Somebody,
think- yeah.
So,
somebody said
yeah.
Allahu Akbar in an email.
Is-
Oh, what?
Is
That's
there
all
like
it is.
a like? Because I know that the what is it called? The NSA.
Mm.
Is that
Yeah. The
Spying on
National
us?
The
Security
NSA.
Administration.
Yeah, they are constantly sifting through billions and billions
Yeah.
and billions and billions of searches and everything else. Is there like an AI algorithm
I'm sure
that
there
is
Don't
is.
send
Yeah,
a
it's
video
called a-
bomb.
that's
called
well, that's the thing. Like, do they
I'm
have
sure there is.
keywords that are sifting
I mean,
through?
called a
if this
Twitch
is really
bot.
gonna,
So when
gonna,
someone in my chat says the
is
N
this
word,
gonna
they get
sway your
banned.
answer? Because I mean, they probably
I'm-
do. Because
I'm
there's so
trying
much
to-
data passing
Yeah,
through
I
the
think
internet anytime.
The
What I'm saying here is that I feel like
So
we
you-
have a right to privacy, and I'm wondering how they're obtaining this information. to
oh, it's
determine
for
who's
sure
a terrorist.
illegally.
Yes.
But that's fine.
I mean, you don't have a right to
Because
privacy.
if you're not a criminal, you don't have anything really to
I-
hide.
you don't
I
have a
don't-
right to privacy at all.
No,
I don't
and
want to
also-
say like neutral, but I think I'm on neutral on this one.
But here's the thing also. I've 100% typed into Google, how do I make a bomb?
And they
Does that
probably,
make you a fucking terrorist? Aaron?
They
I don't
probably-
think so. But
well, they do.
and
here's the
ironically,
thing.
they probably looked
Like,
at
I'm
you and were
not-
like, he's fine.
right. So
yeah, I'm
there's the
not
thing.
stupid enough to think that they're going to allocate any amount of resources to
But
me after
no.
looking at my search history.
So
However,
I
like,
think the confusion here is that if you're a fucking terrorist, you should be looked into.
Yeah.
And if you're not a fucking terrorist and they
You
see
should be
that,
fine.
you should be. And also, you have nothing to hide. You're not like you don't have schematics on how to build a fucking a nuclear bomb.
Also, the
That's
idea
my
that
emails, dog.
also-
Stay the fuck out of them, bro. I have OnlyFans subscriptions.
Also-
I don't want you seeing.
Okay, you know
Also
what?
the
Let's
idea-
just the general
yeah,
consensus
it's
here is
basically
strongly
agree.
Yeah.
I'm
The
sad
idea
neutral.
too that you have anything that you can hide digitally is funny. Subdivisions should not be able to exempt. Subdivisions should not be able to exempt from national laws.
So does that mean like native groups?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah,
Okay.
I would say agree.
Strongly agree.
I'm gonna go unsure.
Unsure.
like
I'm neutral because
you-
I'm not in those subgroups, so it
Me-
wouldn't
yeah,
bother
so
me.
you're
Me
saying
too.
like reservations
Yeah.
are exempt
You know
from
what?
federal
That's a
law?
good point. Neutral.
I would say neutral. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we're still strongly agree on
Yeah.
that one. Environmental regulations are essential.
Yeah, strongly agree.
Agree.
You said that
In what
very
capacity?
sad.
No,
you
I'm
fucking
actually
capitalist bastard.
I'm actually neutral on that.
So am I.
All I'm
It's
saying is that
nothing-
I'm not eating shit at the
Envir-
grocery store if the FDA isn't involved.
True, but sometimes they
they'll
just
try and
slap
put,
that
like,
sticker
Well,
on it
that's not
anyway.
necessarily environmental regulations.
No,
environmental regulations
regulation
are
would be like
you
like
have
how
to
much,
have
how much emissions
you have
you're
to
allowed
ha-
to emit.
yeah
and
you
shit
have
like
to
that.
have certain CO2 scrubbers on the exhaust of your chemical plant, or you have to have XYZ chemical scrubbers on coal plants, etc. And because of federal regulations, we are actually in fact one of the greenest nations ever.
I'm gonna go with agree.
I say neutral, so that's agree.
I'm going
Yes.
neutral.
Neutral.
They
Strongly
should have
agree.
regulations.
Yeah,
Strongly agree.
they're essential. Yeah.
I
Okay.
strongly agree.
Okay, that's strongly agree. Countries that do not serve our interests should be toppled.
I strongly disagree.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, Hayes and Walker are
Strongly
screaming
disagree.
right now. Strongly disagree.
Strongly disagree. Strongly disagree. What did you say?
Neutral.
I'm waiting to
Strongly
hear
disagree.
your
Yeah.
answer, brother.
I feel like it's a waste of resources to try and like bother them if they don't agree with us.
Yeah,
Just let them.
I
tremble
disagree
in their third world
because
country.
if they are counter to our interests, I think
Yeah.
that is a problem.
Yeah.
People should have equal opportunity to succeed. Strongly agree, I'd say.
Strongly
Yeah.
agree.
Everyone.
I would say agree. Just agree.
I mean, I'm just gonna push my way to the
Homie
top.
is
so-
racist as fuck.
I'm not
Okay.
racist. I just think everyone has equal opportunity.
If we accept
nowadays.
migrants at all, it is important that they assimilate into our culture. I say strongly agree.
Strongly
Strongly
agree.
agree.
What was the question? I'm retarded.
If we accept migrants at all, it is important that they assimilate to our culture.
Neutral.
Can I
Uh,
ask you why you'd be neutral on that?
Yeah, I don't think anyone should have to assimilate to American culture to live
So
in
do you
America.
think that we're going to bring it back to this? The people that have invaded Europe who are in the streets stabbing and killing people, begging for Sharia law, should Sharia law be here?
I think anyone can worship whatever they want
No,
to
no, no,
worship.
that's what I'm asking.
it's
Sharia
not.
law
It's
is
I'm
literally
asking,
law.
Sharia law, should that be here?
I don't know if that's their thing. Sure.
Then maybe they should
is
go
so
fucking back
fucking
to where
crazy.
they were.
That is a
originally at.
crazy stance to have. To say that anybody has a right to come into a country and be like, you know what,
Do you think
you guys need to change this
Do
up.
you think you have to speak English to come to America?
I think you should learn it.
So that's acclimating to the
That's
culture.
that is
Yeah.
something about
Yeah,
culture.
but you shouldn't fully acclimate to the culture. I always like that
I mean, like,
question.
I'm not saying you
When I
can't
hear-
have rice for breakfast because you're Asian.
Like,
and
when I
now
saw
you're
that question,
American.
there's
like,
so
you know what I
many
mean?
gray
You can
areas
still have
in
your
that.
rice.
There's so many gray areas to that question. Like, I feel like you should not have to fully assimilate to
Welcome
that
to America.
culture.
Put the fucking rice down.
And also
Yeah.
use a fork, you motherfucker.
We eat fucking country potatoes and bacon.
Yeah.
Also, put
I
cheese on
know
your
you
rice,
guys are
bitch.
joking.
Seasoned
But that is
beans.
exactly how I see that question.
I've already moved on from the question. You were
Wow,
outvoted.
Suck my dick.
So the government should support and only recognize one religion. Strongly disagree.
Disagree.
What was it?
I'm sorry, repeat that.
The government should support and only recognize one religion.
Oh,
Strongly
sorry.
disagree.
Strongly
yeah,
disagree.
strongly disagree.
International aid is a waste of money.
Strongly agree.
Strongly?
Strongly agree.
Sorry, there's another option. Strongly fucking agree.
Yeah.
Okay?
Plus
Can I pick
seven.
that one?
I'm
plus-
picking that one.
Yeah, let's do
We're
plus
at, like,
3 for that one.
55
Plus
now.
3 for that one. Plus three.
Yeah. A country must be sure to take all measures to enforce its laws. Strongly agree.
Yes.
Absolutely.
What
Repeat
kind
the
of all
question.
measures are we talking at?
So, for
Are you talking
example,
about like motherfucker.
Like
And
Big
this is
Brother
where I
shit?
so for example, let me just give you the
Can
brief
you
example.
repeat the?
I think UK should be thinking to themselves, we should be deploying the military
Yeah.
because our police are under-equipped and underarmed.
They
and
always were.
I
Taking
think
out
They
these,
always were.
these threats.
I think that instead of a strongly agree, I think for me it's just an agree, which I know will be superseded anyway. But I think it's situational.
For me, it's agree as well. Yeah.
Okay. I think we're going to
Agree.
end up all on strongly agree anyway.
If it
Yeah.
wasn't
Yeah.
agree, it was going to be neutral.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Lasting peace leads to prosperity.
This was a tough one for me. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro.
Strongly agree.
No, I'll
Yeah.
agree.
Largely, I believe it does. So
Yeah, as
I'm
a whole, for
I'm
sure.
agree
Yeah,
on
as a
that.
whole.
So I think
Did you
we're
say
all
neutral?
I would say
Yeah.
neutral, simply because
Hold
there
on.
is
Okay, we need to unpack this.
Yeah.
You need
He's
to give me
scratching
some
his eyebrows.
answers.
Oh man, it's bad. So I'm looking at this completely logical. Obviously,
Right.
it's completely wrong.
Yeah.
But as much as I disdain imperialism, oh my God, did we get land, and that led to our prosperity. So, in a realistic sense, yes, there's terrible things
What are you
we could
talking
do.
about? Imperialism.
Yeah, we're so
America
far
is
off the mark
imperialistic.
here,
We
man.
bought the land that we got.
Not the Louisiana.
Not all of it.
Was
It was literally called the Louisiana Purchase.
How did
It
we
was
get Texas,
purchased.
brother?
Hold on, let's backtrack a minute, Oscar.
Did Brandon just have an aneurysm?
I'm so baffled.
Are you
We're
talking about how
talking
we
We had the
stole
Louisiana.
Texas?
We had the Louisiana
Equals
Purchase.
prosperity.
Peace doesn't always equal prosperity.
Yeah. So lasting peace leads to prosperity. I say agree.
I'm saying neutral.
I'm
I'm not.
saying-
I mean, like
can't.
war
Agree.
brings money,
My-
but define prosperity. What makes you prosperous
Yeah,
compared
I
to somebody
think-
else? You know what I mean?
Economic
money,
success.
better infrastructure,
Sure.
higher population,
Yeah. Just
better military,
generally good things. I think.
Yeah.
stealing, robbing the little man.
Okay,
like,
so you
yes,
said neutral. Agree.
it's
Agree.
fucked, but
Agree.
it's
Agree. Okay.
a realistic answer.
We should put effort into getting a person on Mars in the near future.
Don't care about
Disagree.
Mars.
Agree.
Strongly disagree.
I agree. I'm a science
strongly
boy.
agree.
Okay. Yep.
Man, you really want to be a Martian, don't
So
you?
strongly agree.
I
I said
disagree.
agree.
All
You
I'm
say strongly
saying
disagree.
is,
I'm
if
gonna
we can
change my
fucking go
answer.
there, say SpaceX
There's
can
nothing
put a
wrong with it.
person there.
There's nothing wrong with saying disagree.
Shut the fuck up, Oscar.
If a
What's-
person, you just stunned him.
She's over here feeling bad for her answer. She wants to change her
She's
mind.
thinking.
I'm not feeling bad. I gave it a thought for a moment because I'm acknowledging the fact that we have two people here that are saying immediately strongly agree. I think that I said strongly disagree preemptively because now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like Earth is going to be fucked here in the next few hundred years, and that we need to look at potentially moving to Mars eventually.
In the
to
next
save the
said
human
agree.
400
race.
years.
Yeah, in the
Okay,
next 400
so
years.
I said
Disagree's
agree.
It
You
takes
said
for
strongly
fucking
agree.
ever to get
You
any kind of.
say
I'm gonna say neutral. Is,
Okay.
is
And I'm
what gonna
saying
get at.
strongly agree just
three.
because
I feel like disagree.
I feel like
Okay.
that would be misallocating resources that could be going elsewhere.
We're already
However,
$1 trillion in debt. Where are
Yes.
they going to get this money to do
What-
that?
okay, but what I'm
Elon's
saying is
doing it.
that there-
Elon's doing it.
Yes.
He's not in any debt.
there are self-funded organizations
yeah,
that are
Which is
doing
private company.
Which is the greatest thing that's ever happened to
Exactly.
space travel.
exactly privately funded organizations should be allowed to do not undocumented, but like
Yeah, because he's probably doing
they're
mutations. In
like
his
if they
basement.
want to allocate all of their fucking resources to space travel, by all means.
It's
but I
also
don't think
interesting
that
too because
the
it's a great
government
point.
should be funding it.
It's also a great point in case people say fuck capitalism, bring back communism. Point to the fact that capitalism doesn't drive any sort of innovation and progress. I say look at SpaceX.
Yep.
Now go-
Absolutely.
Now go eat your shoe.
Mm.
Which is what you would be eating under communism.
Not
So
on Mars either.
That lands us at somewhere around.
Agree.
It would still be agree because I said agree as well.
I said
Well, that
neutral.
puts us higher.
Yeah.
If I was agree, he would strongly agree. You say agree, that's 4, so that's that.
Okay, strongly agree.
Nations fighting among each other gets in the way of progress.
When you say
Nations-
nation,
I
What are you
think
trying to
that's kind
progress?
of
that's a pretty
That's-
broad
that's
question.
very
because
vague.
if you want my goals, I think fighting back against nations who want to see you dead, I think that is actually progressive.
Agreed.
I'm looking at the question as if like Israel's conflict with Palestine,
Yeah.
right? If that's adhering progress from us.
That barely hinders progress
Well,
on us
you
if we
have to
weren't
think.
involved.
You have
but
to
we are
think.
strongly involved with the
Correct.
amount of funding that has
Which
been sent there.
This is also the progress thing is if we said stop it, Israel, lay down and die, then who's next?
Yeah.
I tell you what, it's in their charter.
I mean,
it's
me
America.
personally, I'm like 100% with you there. I just feel like Israel would not be the ones to lie down and die.
That's right. That's why it's.
That's why I'm okay with
you
it.
strongly agree.
For two nations, would they adhere progress?
Nations fighting among each other gets in the way of progress.
No,
Get-
So you would
disagree.
agree, so you disagree
Disagree.
Disagree.
and disagree as well. Disagree. Okay. Government-owned industry is usually a bad idea.
Like government-owned
Strongly
cars
agree.
or government.
Strongly agree.
Yeah.
It is so bad.
Government owned like companies. Is that-
Industry.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
No.
yeah, strongly disagree.
So-
So look at the
Agree.
DMV.
Yeah.
God damn it, that is so true.
In the modern
Social
era,
Security.
militaries aren't really necessary.
Disagree.
Strongly
Disagree.
disagree.
What was the question?
In the modern era, militaries aren't really necessary.
Disagree.
Strongly
the question?
disagree.
In the she got my ass.
Strongly disagree.
Unfortunately, strongly disagree.
Public opinion swings too much with emotional events to be useful for policymaking.
Strongly
agree.
agree.
Strongly agree. Outright. International trade is generally beneficial.
Strongly
Agree.
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 Agree. So, that's still strongly agree. The sacrifice of some civil liberties is necessary to protect us from acts of terrorism. I say,
That's pretty
Agree.
situational.
Yeah.
I think you can say like a liberty as in like privacy.
Cameras in the street.
I'll say
privacy
neutral.
cameras in the street,
Neutral
right?
for that one.
I
for
don't
me.
care.
Having to register firearms or having to
B21 to smoke.
present
TSA
identification
check.
at
Fucking weird.
TSA, stuff
Yeah.
like that. I think
Okay.
everyone is basically, if we tallied up, that was all strongly agree.
I just put neutral, so
I think we're still
Outvoted.
more on the positive.
I think my neutral should trump everything. Okay.
The
Yeah,
wealth,
Brandon.
A
the
neutral is a 0. It doesn't change anything.
this is such
Shut
a
up.
cheap fucking question. The wealthy have far more than they need.
Yes.
Strongly
Well,
agree.
I mean, that's kind of
That's a kind of a bullshit.
yeah. The
Well,
answer's
sort
already
of
in the
question.
question.
They
You're
are
wealthy. You're
It's
well.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's
you
what
work
that
have
means.
wealth.
Yeah, strongly agree.
I know what it's gonna do because you answered like this. So
Should we just do neutral then across the board? Because
mean,
it's a true statement.
the wealthy have
Like,
now
they
are
are
they
wealthy.
are they including assets?
This is
where they need
insinuating that
to,
you need to
you
take
know-
stuff away from them.
Yeah. Are they also including wealth as in like assets which they need to in order to, I don't know, continue their business? Because in that case I'll put
Right.
disagree. If that's what they really want. You want to play these fucking
I think
games?
that we should put neutral as a blanket
I
statement,
think so too.
I think that's a good idea.
so it doesn't
It's a
sway
very
anything.
it's a very primed question.
It is.
And I think
That's one of those questions that gives you your answer at the end of the question. or
yeah,
at the end of the
they
question.
want to
Yeah.
give you that so you think that we should start taxing the rich more even though they pay 98% of the taxes. No cultures are superior to others.
Agree.
Disagree.
You said-
Absolutely
I'm
disagree.
sorry. What?
No cultures are superior to others.
Like no culture? Like just like having nothing?
No,
Like,
If
you're
John
just-
had 5
No
apples.
cultures are superior to others.
Like you're like
are you assuming that there's a culture called no?
yes.
He's saying
Is-
that no
hey,
one is better
Yeah.
than anyone.
Is any culture superior to another?
is
oh,
Asian
oh my
culture
god, I
better
read that
than
wrong. I
Yeah.
see why
American
you're calling me
culture?
stupid
Yeah.
now. Yeah, just strong.
I say disagree.
Imagine
Disagree.
just
Disagree.
culture of
Disagree.
no.
Disagree.
Although, I really wish samurais were everywhere. So,
You know how dope we could
This is the
start
last
a
question,
religion
by the
right
way.
now. We
We
could just
actually
call it
have
no.
a
Yeah.
Ronin sleeping
we
in
do
the
have a
room.
Ronin.
fuck,
Yeah.
you're right.
It's
This
almost
is
like
the
you can make a
last
religion
question.
out of that.
Last question. The national government can't understand what people need. Disagree.
The national government.
The national government.
I
Can't
think
understand.
that the national government is capable of knowing what the people need, but I think that they are completely
So you would disagree.
blissfully.
They're all invested in
don't
their own
care.
interests for the most part.
Yes, they
Yeah.
do
So-
not
but you
care
would
about what
disagree.
they need.
Yeah.
Is
Nancy
the general
Pelosi
consensus.
does not care that we're struggling.
Na-
I don't even believe that she's a real person.
She's a fish.
No,
I'm
she's like a
convinced.
fucking-
She's a
you see
fish
the
in disguise.
eyes?
She's a fish in disguise.
Why are
like
they so deep?
I'm just
Like
a
that
good.
lady
You know
Gaga
that fucking
song.
spoon that you
I'm
handed
just-
out?
like the lady.
Those are
Yeah.
wow, they got
Yeah.
her.
I'm just a good Catholic woman.
And why are you always wearing that fucking red suit?
I disagree.
know.
I disagree.
Weird.
Stop
Yeah.
getting Botox.
I disagree as well. Strongly disagree. It's talking about the capability to understand. Okay, we have our results, folks. Interesting. So our modern unitary. So we were 35% federal and 65% unitary, which is like more state sort of power. Moderate authoritarian. We were 40% democracy and 60% authority.
Damn.
Moderate isolationist is what we were. We were 60% isolationist and 40% globalist. We were pretty much neutral. We were split down the middle between militarist and pacifist. We were moderate security, 65% to 35% freedom. Equality, we were 70% equality and 30% markets, which is really interesting.
That's good.
Yeah.
We were a moderate secular, so 65% secularism and 35% religious. We were a moderate traditional, which would be 40% progress and 60% tradition. And we were a fanatic assimilationist, which is 100% assimilationist rather than the multiculturalist. And the closest match for the collective here was a theocratic distributism. Oh, good
There's a
lord.
lot
That's
of word
pretty
mumbo
fucking
jumbo that I
wordy,
don't
yeah.
understand.
Yeah, so
Let's compare it to our
definitely not
individual
mine
scores.
because I am a conservative through and through, which is exactly what I got on this test.
Which I'm confused because I feel like I'm more conservative, but when I did that test, it said liberal authoritarian.
Mine says liberalism.
Fucking liberal.
I am a social libertarianism.
That figures.
Democratic socialism.
Hmm.
Are we going to compare our
Interesting.
our little
If you would
answers?
like to, I
would
will
like to.
read them again.
Wait, was it this thing that you had me?
This
do?
Feel
is
the
this
burn,
test,
guys.
This is this test, love.
I never did that.
You want to do it right now? You could.
It's too late.
It is too late.
You can do it later, and we can look at it
It's a
later.
skill issue. I understand.
She's the
So-
person in government who just went like this.
Meh.
So she is Pelosi.
Just without the $400,000 a year,
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
And,
and
the fish
she
suit.
decides her wages.
So the
How does she
moderate.
look like such shit if she makes $400,000 a year?
I don't know.
Aging.
crazy. Yeah, but like you think you get
She's
some
on
of that shit
the
removed?
she's on the waiting list for the
She
baby.
has to be the most.
She's
hated
on the waiting list
politician.
for the baby blood.
There's
Everyone
no
else
one
is
else.
taking
Yeah,
it
the
first.
stem cells.
and the little what are the foreskins?
Yeah, and her
She
foreskin
will not have my
blender.
son's foreskin.
Foreskin
They are intact.
blender.
Okay, so for the first result, unitary. So federal or unitary. What was your highest score?
I was 55% federal.
Interesting. We're at 35 collectively.
I'm at 55%
Federal.
I'm at 60.
60% federal. Interesting. Here we were on the opposite, basically. We're at 65% unitary. So pretty interesting there. The next line, we're at democracy or authority. What were you at first, Oscar?
I was at 80% for democracy.
80% democracy. That makes sense.
55% for authority.
55% for authority.
I was 65% democracy.
Okay. And we ended up with 60% authority.
Pretty neutral for
Yeah.
Yeah.
Given the split.
Yeah.
For the globalist or isolationist, Jeremy,
dead 50.
dead 50-50.
65%
65 what?
for globalists.
Globalist, okay.
I was also 65% for
65.
globalist.
We netted a 60% isolationist. For militarist and pacifist,
65% for militarist.
okay. A little bit more than what we got on the average.
70% for pacifist.
Very neat.
Dead 50.
Dead 50, and we are at dead 50. For security or freedom, Jeremy,
70% for freedom.
70% for freedom, and
60% for freedom.
60% for freedom.
65% freedom.
And we're at 65% security.
What did you get for that?
Mostly that.
Oh,
Deadpan. Mostly that.
Mostly that. For equality and markets, Jess,
I had 60% markets.
60% markets. Interesting. Good. You like capitalism?
75% equality.
Okay.
Good. 65% equality.
Okay. And we're at 70% equality. Secular or religious, I can only expect this to go one way. What'd you guys get?
I was 80% secular.
80% secular, 100% secular. I just had to look at Jeremy.
Right on the money.
Yeah.
You didn't even get to open his
And what,
fucking
you were
mouth.
like, what, 90 to 100% secular?
75%.
75, okay. We were at 65% secular.
That's pretty funny.
So progress or tradition. What did you get, Oscar?
I got 85% progress.
That tracks.
50 down the middle.
50 down the middle. Wow.
I was also dead 50.
50. And we were at 60% tradition on that one. For assimilation, we have assimilationist or multiculturalist, Oscar.
I'm 60% assimilationist.
Interesting.
Yeah, you thought the other way.
Weird.
Yeah, I mostly entered neutral for most of the assimilation things.
Got 95% assimilation.
Hell yeah.
I was 60% multiculturalist.
Wow.
See, that's what I wish I
Wow.
could have.
Yeah, and we got
I'm gonna-
100% assimilationist on that.
Yeah.
one.
I'm going to be completely honest. When answering these, I don't think that I gave them
100%
the
thought.
amount. Yeah, the amount of thought
Me
that
too.
I
We
We
should
did
have.
these pretty quickly.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
did
So-
these pretty quickly, so
Yeah,
I
it
feel
might
like I
skew.
was.
Mine won't skew. I know that for sure.
I
Yeah.
feel like the 60% assimilationist one isn't bad though, because like I understand there's some ways you need to assimilate, but not fully. I thought the 60-40 wasn't bad.
I
took
think
it
that
as
I
a
could have
balance.
given these more thought for sure,
Yeah.
and I definitely gave them more thought when we
It
were
is
doing it as a
also
group.
something to note, though, is that you can also take the whole selection of
Mhm.
questions of 219, and that gives you a much
217.
more accurate viewpoint, because
Probably,
45
yeah.
is a very slim thing, and you would
One
and with
question
45
can
question,
skew your entire.
what could be of one of those
I
categories,
will
and that could skew
say
your whole
for
position on everything.
45 questions, it's not bad. I like the whole test. That the website,
The
it's
219
Well, it's
questions
45
gave you a much clearer idea, and I was conservative.
It's 45 questions and 9 categories, so that
Yeah.
averages at
5.
5 questions
five
per category. So
they could do this
even-
for the vetting process.
even
Have people
one
take this fucking
question-
test.
one question in a different direction puts you at
Yeah.
a 20% incline in either way.
Yep.
So
That's why I took the 219 and it gave me the more accurate score. Yeah, and that's going to be it for this episode, folks. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to check out the website at www.thewholemag.com. Don't forget, use code Brandon25 for 25% off. Don't forget, exclusions apply. And thank you all so much. And as always, have a good one.